Why is America so violent? Why do we have the highest murder rate among industrialized nations? Why do we have the highest prison and incarceration rate in the country? Why does violence permeate our society? People look in very different directions as to why America is so violent. Some look to history. The genocide practiced against Native Americans in this country, with almost 15 million wiped out by settlers through violence, shooting, killing, and disease is one factor that some look at. Slavery in this country, which resulted in a bloody civil war, 1 million casualties. These historical events such as these, we've never resolved. Some people might call it karma, or we reap what we sow. We are a warring empire, some people believe. We've been fighting wars at least since the beginning of the 20th century, a continuing string of wars with millions upon millions of casualties. We've become very much a militarized empire with bases around the world. Some historians argue that we're suffering blowback, and that's the term they use for this. In other words, retribution. That's why countries hate us around the world, because they feel we are a warring empire, and that's why we've had this blowback or terrorism practiced against us, even on our own soil and in other countries. But I guess the question is there something fundamental in American culture? Is it just our history, our technology, our economic structure? I think the problem lies with us. We've peered into the void, and it is us. We're an isolated, lonely society with broken families, parents who aren't home. We have children that are living in a virtual community with no face-to-face contact. We have parents that are hooked on BlackBerries, their computers, or maniacally attached to cell phones. So what's happened to young children, not only are they locked in virtual communities where they have no face-to-face relationships, they're isolated. And they're isolated from the rest of society. And when you get isolation, often people live in their heads. And when you get people who live in their heads, you get sporadic violence, people who feel like they have to take out, and this is the key word, anger. People are angry about something. What are they angry about? I think that they're basically angry at the fact that they've been left out. I mean, who can live in an earphone world all their lives? So really the question in the end is, it's American culture and how we live our lives today. And we've just forgotten that children are important, that the community is important, that our neighbors are important. In other words, we need one another. And if we don't get back to the ideal, violence is going to continue to escalate in this country. And that's why we do have violence in America.